Hello. Day 5000 in the Big Brother Indian house. I don't actually know what day I'm up to. I've lost track. I do know there wasn't an end of day summary yesterday, because the end of day summary would have gone drove, refueled, drove, broke down, drove, refueled, broke down. Met some really nice people, got it finally fixed, drove, arrived at a shithole. That was the summary of the whole day. We just proper hammered it. We were like, we need to make ground. Because so we had like two options. We could have done it in, so I'm now in Agra, so this is like 2 days since I think the last summary. I'm tired. So we could have done this trip. It was I think it's just short of 1,000 kilometers, or maybe just over. It's one of them. It's about 1,000 kilometers. And we could have done that in 3 days and still been on track, completely fine. But what I decided was to see if we could push it and hammer it and actually get a day ahead, because then that would give us a full day off in Jaipur on Friday. So, and we've managed it. We're both exhausted, but to be fair, there wasn't, on the 1,000 kilometers, it's not like we've sped by things we wanted to see. There wasn't much. It was literally like just driving through the middle of the countryside over and over again. There wasn't anywhere really to stop off. There wasn't any big cities that we wanted to stop and see or do or whatever. So like there was nothing really to drag it out for. As long as we were managing it and the rickshaw was managing it, we decided we might as well just push on. So we arrived in Agra at 8 p.m. tonight. I need to tell you about the guy from yesterday. So the final time we brought down, it was pitch black, but it was probably only about 8 o'clock-ish. But we're in the middle of nowhere, no street lights, no road markings, nothing, no buildings really. And we brought down, and there was like this shack where loads of men, like 20 plus men, were all just stood around chatting and drinking these little tiny paper cups of tea. So I just walked over and was like, is anybody a mechanic? And the word mechanic is the same over here in India as England, so they understand the word mechanic. So I was like, mechanic. And they're all like chatting to each other and shaking their head at me. Okay, does anybody know a mechanic? And they didn't quite get that, so I pulled my phone out, got it up as if I was going to dial a number. I was like, phone a mechanic. Can anybody phone a mechanic? And eventually, this older guy came over and he was like gesturing for me to show him the rickshaw and what the problem was. So as I'm doing that, about 10 minutes later, this mechanic turns up. And so he started the rickshaw straight away, which it was doing, it was starting, but we'd get about, I don't know, 400 metres and it'd cut out again. And then you could start it again and then it'd do it again. So you couldn't really, like, you would eventually get to where you're going, but you couldn't really, yeah, it was. And I assume at some point if we'd have kept doing that, it would have just not started. So I didn't know how to explain to him what the problem was. So thank the Lord for my A star in drama GCSE, because I was able to act it out. So in the middle of nowhere, and I mean nowhere, like in the dark, random strange men are just holding the phones up with the lights on so people could see. And there's me to this mechanic. I'll show you. There's me. So this is this is my explanation of what was happening to the rickshaw. dead. And he started up again. Dead. There we go. And he got it. He actually got it. Oh God. What they must have thought of me. Jesus Christ. Honestly, if somebody would have filmed but so yeah, he got it. Anyway, so he was doing all sorts in the back. He was stripping the carburettor down. He was cleaning the spark plugs, putting oil in the engine, all sorts. He was doing all sorts. And eventually, I think it was about an hour we was there, maybe a little longer, I don't know. And he got it sorted, but at some point this other guy came over who hadn't been there at first, and he spoke really good English. So he was translating then. I can't explain to you what it's like in India when you break down. Within minutes, you're surrounded by people that just want to help or just want to watch what crap's going on. So there was about 20 odd men, all just stood there. The old guy had taken my dad back off to his little tea stand to have a cup of tea and a sit down. And I'm stood holding a torch over the mechanic for like all this time. So they're all chatting to me, but via this translator. Anyway, they asked me what we was doing. So I was trying to explain it's a challenge that we've organised with a company, and there's 45 teams. There's no route. Everybody just goes wherever, but you've got to get from Kochi to Jaisalmer. So they explained this to the mechanic, and he said, tell her don't worry, I'm going to fix it so she can be a champion. I think they thought it was a race. But yeah, they were like, oh yeah, he's gonna fix it so you can win, you can be a champion. I was like, yay, can he make it go 100 kilometers per hour by any chance? But yeah, they were lovely, they were absolutely amazing, and by the end of it all, he only charged us a £5. I'm like, it's crazy. And since then, it has been absolutely beautiful. Like, it's just driven, like we have hammered it today, absolutely hammered it. And it's not battered an eyelid. So yeah, and then today we've at one point we missed our turning, so it did that thing Google Maps where it reroutes, and it said take the next turning and go down, and it just wasn't even a road. Like I don't know how it appears on the map, because it's not even a road, because it was just it was like a gap in the bushes basically. And we're like, there's cows everywhere, there's branches smacking us in faces as we're driving past. Honestly, the rickshaw was like whoop, 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 over all these potholes. I was like, oh my God. Anyway, we ended up just giving up and reversing out and keep going on the highway until the next turning. But yeah, it's crazy. And then we get to Agra, and oh my gosh, even at 8 o'clock at night, it was just absolutely crazy. People everywhere. And when I say pushing and shoving, I mean like the vehicles are pushing and shoving, trying to get through gaps that don't even exist. And then I was getting wound up. I think I realised that I really needed to stop driving pretty quickly when I start offering out a bus driver in the middle of Agra, because I was sat still waiting to turn. There was a line of traffic behind me waiting, there was a line of traffic in front of me, and the slightest gap and this bus just came, and I was like, you can't go anywhere, you've just blocked that gap that I could have got through for absolutely no reason. But he couldn't get through, so as he was, like, the road sort of bent a little bit, so as he was going, he was getting closer and closer to the front of my rickshaw, to the point where my front wheel that sticks out a bit was underneath his bus. And I'm just sat there completely still, like, what a dick. And then he leans out his window and he's telling me reverse. And I was like, right, I've had enough. Because I hadn't done anything. I was just sat waiting, and he came along and decided he was just going to shove his way through for no, when he couldn't do it. So I was like, right, pull over, get out. Let's sort this out now. Get out, pull over and get out. And yeah, and then this rickshaw driver at the side of me was just like, because yeah, you could see it was just stupid what this bus driver did. But yeah, and then we eventually got to our hotel, and the whole road is blocked off by police because it's the road next to the Taj Mahal, so no vehicles can go down, even though the hotel advertises free parking, and that was one of the things I requested. So yeah, we had to drop the bags here, and then a guy out the hotel took me on a drive around the city to another hotel to park the rickshaw up for the night to come back. So we'll have to go and find it tomorrow. Problem is I don't actually remember the name of the hotel where they took me, so yeah, I'm absolutely exhausted. I'm filthy. I slept in these clothes last night because if you've seen last night's hotel video, you'll know why. So I've been wearing these clothes, including these knickers, for 2 days. I am absolutely disgusting. I'm exhausted. I can't wait to just have a shower and get in bed because we're up early in the morning to go and see the Taj. So yeah, that was like a summary of 2 days. So I'll see you all soon. Tonight's hotel room. I've got to say, I think this is middle of the road compared to all the other places we've been. Hey, me! Looking rough as fuck. The entire reason I booked this hotel is because it's literally the street next to the Taj Mahal. And also because it was like the best rated in this area on booking.com. I mean, it's not amazing. It is a little dirty. I think that's me. I think I wrote that. But yeah, it's not horrendous. And I can't even remember what we're paying per night. I have a feeling it's something like £6 a night or something like that. Those pictures are really slanted. It's really annoying. I'm absolutely exhausted. I cannot wait to just lie on that bed and sleep.